But when you were going, reading the book, yeah, right now you can speak about man, center, and chakra. Man, no, he asked a question. Right, yeah. Right. So in reply, in response, you replied, I mean, that man, man એટલે mind. Mind is centers. Is centers. Manas na chakra. Manas ના તો એ centers અને ચક્રનું શું છે? Branch. Is it not? Okay. એટલે આ તો ખાલી ના 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 આપણે અહીંયા આટલું નાનું ગ્રુપ છે વાતચીત જ કરીએ. See, what did we say in the first day that what are the functions which are given to the born child, newly born child? That's it. The soul, it seeks a human form. Why does it seek a human form? Because it gets certain functions. Right. It can think, it can feel, it can sense, it can move. And there's one more function, sex. Right? So these functions, mind. So we have a thinking mind, a feeling mind, a sensing mind, a moving mind. And that which gives petrol to all the minds, we call it as sex. Okay? So it is the big petrol pump. Understand what I'm trying to say? So the mind, it has these functions, but usually, so we call it four centers. A man has a thinking center, he has an emotional center or feeling center, he has a moving center, and he has an instinctive center. Right? So supposing you go on a trip somewhere, and I ask you, what did you do on that trip? And you say, okay, I went to all these restaurants to eat. Of that trip, all the restaurants, in which center is it stored? In the instinctive center. You get what I'm trying to say? But supposing you went on a trip and you say you met your relatives, or maybe you went to some art gallery. So then which center are we talking about? Feeling center. The feeling center. Yes. But supposing you spent your time studying something, then you're talking about the thinking center. And you spent your time taking long walks, then you're taking the moving center. Everybody has a center of gravity in one center. That does not mean the other centers are not active, but they have a center of gravity in one center. So a person may have his in the thinking center. So for him, life is more intellectual. So he is interested in reading, he's interested in books. You get what I'm trying to say? This person may have a center of gravity in the feeling center. And that person is more interested in feeding other people, looking after other people, take a job as nursing or something of that. Also, a lot of the music and the arts and all will come with the feeling center. But a person is interested in sports, the moving center. And a person is interested in the good things in life. So the instinctive center. You understand? So a person will have a center of gravity in one center that is more focused in one center, and he sees life through that center. So a person, so these are four windows, right? And all these four windows together make reality. But a person spends his whole life looking through one window. You understand? And then if his wife is looking through another window, thinking, looking through a thinking window, the wife is looking through a feeling window, then there's going to be clash. But she'll say, this is the truth, and he'll say, this is the truth. And truth is all four together. So those are the centers. Centers is a very, very deep study. Very deep study. So, uh, because again, there are parts of centers, right? And each thing represents something. So if I'm in quality of attention, then I'm in a lower part of a center. I'm in the thinking center, but I'm reading, but by the end, I've not read anything. I don't remember anything. Can you see? So I am in the thinking center, but the quality of my attention in this thinking center is of a very low, right? A person is in the moving center, but the quality of attention is very low. Then he'll be sitting here, then he'll get up and do this, then he'll get up and do this. He can't sit for the quality of attention is very low. So depending on the quality of attention in each center, we are either deeper in the center or shallow in the center. This quality of attention is of three kinds. Zero attention, again, which we call as tamas, attracted attention, which we call as rajas, and direct call as sattva. So, study of the centers, then we can relate the centers to the 52 playing cards. So, diamonds, that is, diamonds will mean the thinking center. Hearts will mean the feeling center. Spades will mean the moving center. And clubs will mean the instinctive center. Right? Now, if you take the picture cards of each center, there will be Jack, Queen, King. So I am in the instinctive center, but I'm not bored. I'm just eating like that. There's no lower, very lower quality. So my attention quality is of the Jack. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? But I'm attracted attention qualities of the Queen. But I'm holding attention in the center, then attention qualities of the King. So when the playing cards actually they are a whole map of the centers. Then again in each we can divide attention from 2 to 10. What is the quality of attention? 2 to 10. So we have all the playing cards. Right? So if a person comes to meet us, we'll say, and he's talking, we'll immediately say he's the 7 of clubs or 5 of diamonds. Can you understand? We recognize the person. In that, we know everything about the person. So it's a very deep study of the center. Now, today we'll just continue where we left off yesterday. Do we uh, make an effort to realize how we lose energy? How we lose energy? Because if we want to hold attention inside, we need energy, right? But we don't have energy. So we always like to live our life in a lower quality of attention. If I didn't have to use will to direct my attention, I'd be happy. Or if I could watch the TV all the time, my attention is what you call attracted by the TV, then I don't have to, what do you call so where am I losing the force to hold attention? Where am I losing the force to hold attention? And where does that force come from? Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Negativity, reactions, daydreaming, unnecessary talking, right? So these are all leakages of energy. Now, for holding attention, we need a very special energy to hold attention. So when we hold attention at a certain quality, yesterday we saw it was called dharna. So where does that energy to hold attention come from? Does it come from the food we eat? Does it come from the air we breathe? Some other source? Or is there some other source? Yes. I'm only talking about the energy to hold attention, not the energy of the moving center, not the energy of the feeling center, not the energy of the thinking center. Where does it come from? What is the source of that energy? So, does it come from the sleep we get at night? And in sleep, what happens when we get energy? So, just as there's a sun outside, which is the source of energy, there's a sun inside. There's a sun inside, right? So, when we deep sleep, the soul and the spirit become one, right? That is the state of samadhi. Soul and the spirit become one. Then, as we come out of deep sleep, the soul separates from the spirit, but it comes back with a new energy. Comes with a new energy. So, if we don't have a deep sleep, we won't get that energy. You'll get very little. Only those few moments of deep sleep. But we recharge. It is a very special energy. Very special energy. That's what it is. People need to get deep sleep. So that's the reason we have. Yeah, but then many people get the energy, but are they able to hold the energy? Are they able to hold the energy? Right? So in the morning, something happens. My wife gives me cold tea. And if I flare up, then, then I've lost everything. I've lost everything. So in one small flare up, one small negativity, that energy which comes from the inner Atma, right? The spirit, the soul, in deep sleep, it becomes one and it comes out like having a bath, right? It comes out and it comes with it is this energy which we need to progress on the spiritual path. It is this energy which allows us to recognize the inner spirit. But we are not able to hold this energy. One small negativity and everything is lost. Very few people increase this energy and they steal it from somewhere. They steal it from nature. They steal it from nature, right? So, nature, its source of energy is the sun. So you look at the sky and you look at the sky and you look at the sky, you get energy. Not this energy. Not this energy. Try to understand, right? Where do you get this energy? When you go into sleep at night, right? And when you wake up in the morning, you wake up with this pocket money. But everybody's eyes are on that pocket. In nature. Why does she want to sleep? She's in the process of evolution, right? So, what is her source of energy? The sun. The sun, right? But this energy does not come from the sun. It comes from within. It is not from the sun. Can you understand? It comes from the inner spirit, right? So, nature wants that energy. Nature gets it from us. If I get angry on you, I throw it out to nature. And she takes that and she creates life in those parts of the universe where there is no life. Connection in there because I read somewhere that in the morning, if you hug a tree, it gives you energy. Is that true? Not this energy. Not this energy. This other energy, there is only one source. That is soul and spirit. Huh? When we soul sleep. And spirit connection. Yes, when we sleep. There is another source which we are coming to. We're not going to come by hugging a tree. If you morning, if you hug a tree, you get hurt. Don't watch TV after you get up for at least 2 hours. Don't read paper. You lose your energy. You lose it. You lose it. You lose it. If you read paper because your mind going into all these things, then you lose it. You lose it. So don't watch TV, don't do anything. During sleep, I collected some energy, my soul. And now I have that energy. What does nature gets nature's energy from sun? What does nature do with my she gets divine it's his divine energy. Yeah. So so is divine energy is the source of life. Right. So, so then supposing she says that tomorrow she wants to create life on the moon. Then will the only sun's energy do, or does she need some extra energy? Extra energy. And there's only one source. That's us, like man. Life. No, not life. Not us. Man. Even tree will have life energy. But only when they die. Okay. So how come I don't have to die to deplete all my energy to nature? Because we make it every night. Every night comes in, and in the morning we waste it and give it to the nature. So doesn't tree get it from roots? You have to your mind for this. Oh, okay. Right? You can't have a universal. Right? So in nature, all the animals, the soul is universal. Except man. Animals don't dream. Definitely not dream. They don't have. They don't have ambition. Okay. That has to do with those five elements which are no, nothing. Right? So now nature wants that energy. Huh? So how is she going to take it? Yes, so she has to create a situation where we get angry, we get negative. So that's the nature making us right. So blame it on it. Don't blame it on nature. He throws the net and the fish gets caught. Right? Then we are the poor old fish. We get caught in the net. Right? Why does divine do that? Divine is our own interest too. If I'm a divine fragment, what does divine, why would divine
um, um, give the other card to the nature so that they can steal this energy this way.
See, nature wants a certain kind of energy. So she creates plants. Plants take that energy from the sun. They process that energy in their skin and they give out. Then she creates animals. Animals also take energy from the sun. Again, they digest it and do whatever they want to and they give it out. But still, she's lacking in one very fine energy. So she created man. She created man. And she had to create man in such a way that man can either evolve or just be a machine to provide energy to nature. Humanity is just a machine to provide energy to nature. Every night they go to sleep, they get some energy. In the morning they react because the tea is cold and they give it all. But that's the end of the nature's purpose is served. Can you understand? Now it is this energy which has come from the divine and which takes me to the divine. Now in the morning nature throws the net and I say I don't want to get angry. I don't want to become just a machine in nature, a part of nature's machine. I want to wake up. So instead of me giving energy to nature, I steal energy from nature. And this is how I rise up the ladder of consciousness.
Maybe that's why very few people can rise because
Everybody else is just a machine. Can you understand? Okay. So today we are going to talk about something called the pause. The pause, which we talked about yesterday. Pause is holding the manas separate, which we talked about yesterday. Right? Talk about the pause. Now, what does the pause mean? What does the pause mean? Stop. Stop. Between we receive an impression or we receive an impulse from outer life, right? And something is decoded inside, and then it goes into action. So initially we pause between the decoding and the action, and then we pause before even the decoding, right? We are going to
we're
take.
not even sometimes aware of all these processes. That's the whole game, right?
So the whole thing is to bring in consciousness. Thing is to bring in consciousness. So let us take some of Patanjali's sutra, right? The first sutra is Yuthan Sanskaryo Abhibhav Abhibhava Pradurbhava Nirodakshana Chitta Anvay Nirod Parina. So Yutha. It means fragmentation, reaction. So what is my sanskar today? What sanskar do I have today? Reaction. To me, my automatic habitual process in life is to react every moment. To react every moment. So this is the habitual sanskar which I have. So we say Vyuthana Now I introduce a new habit, the habit of pause. So every time I'm reacting to something, I say I don't want to react, I pause. So now I'm changing a habit of thousands and thousands of years. Everybody reacts. Can you see? It's very a person who does not react. So all of us live in which our whole lives in which sanskar? Yuddha, to react. Right? Now we bring a new sanskar, pause. Bring a new sanskar. Vyuthana Nirodha Sanskar. Yeah? Two. That is why. Abhibhav means disappearing. Pradurbhava, appearing. Or we can say setting or sun setting, rising. Rising. What will it mean? What will it mean? In our life, this sun disappearing and this sanskar is rising. This sanskar is disappearing, this sanskar is rising. Huh? વ્યુત્થાનનો સંસ્કાર જાય છે અને નિરોધનો સંસ્કારનો જન્મ થાય. Can you understand? Now, how will we do this? How will we do this? What is the first thing we will do? What is the first thing to do? The first thing. To be free of reaction, to be free of this, what he is calling Vyuthan Sanskar, what is the first thing we will do? We will say no to the reaction, right? We may not be fully successful in it. We may not be fully successful in it. Now, how will we work upon it? Supposing I see that whenever I meet one person, I always react. Homework is there. Now I'll say the next time I meet him, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause the reaction. I have made a start. You understand what I'm trying to say? Hmm? Or I may say when I meet a person of a certain religious type, I react. Now I'm going to say I pause. These are automatic reactions which are already within us. So we are starting from very basic. I'm trying to say. Huh? Or if I see a room untidy, I react. Now I'm going to say I pause. Understand what I'm trying to say? So we'll take a few of our very typical reactions and we are going to say, now these reactions, when they come, we are going to introduce pause and say, at that moment, I'm going to say no to the reaction. I'm going to say no to the reaction. Right? Now, those reactions, they are like they want to be nourished. So they become more powerful. So there will be an inner struggle. I will see the same person. Definitely, I'm going to start feeling reactive inside. Again, through my understanding. Again, I'll feel reactive inside. Again, through my understanding, I will pause. And a point will come when I see the same person, I don't react. What has happened? Vyutthan Sanskar has died and Nirodh Sanskar has been born. Right? Now, where else will we use it? Where else will we? Supposing we have a feeling that life should go the way we want it to go, right? So you decide tomorrow what all expectations we have from life. And we have so many expectations from life. And life has no guarantee to fulfill our expectations. So when life does not fulfill our expectations, we get upset. Upset. I remember there was one in Uttarkashi, and we had this beautiful setting. We were staying right on the river, and on that day it was the World Cup final, the cricket match. So we asked the hotel fellow that, do you have a TV? He says, I don't. So we got a TV from somewhere. And we got somebody to fit a, what do you call, satellite dish. And we got everything ready, all new. Just one day we want to use it to watch the World Cup final. Everything was ready. And in the evening, the match was going to start. And the electricity, life has no guarantee. There's no guarantee. If we knew in the morning, we would have got a battery or something. Now it was already impossible to get anything, and all the effort we had done. So, of course, we had not gone to Uttarkashi to watch the World Cup match, but life, when life does not go our way, we get. So, the first thing we will do is where all are our small reactions in life, we will start with there. That second thing, we will say that we will make an effort whenever life brings a situation which makes us upset, not to get upset, right? Try to, what will come to help us, what we talked about yesterday. We talked about yesterday. If we take it personally, we upset. But if it is happening to somebody else, right? I've not yet talked about self-observation. Maybe next year we'll talk about self-observation. In self-observation, we divide it ourselves into I and it. So I'll say I divide myself into I and Rajan. So I'll say who cannot watch the World Cup match? Rajan cannot watch the World Cup. But I am watching. I'm watching. I'm separate. So when it is happening to somebody else, we will not get upset. So the P in what do you call? This is an inner separation where we say it is happening to somebody else, not personal. Then comes, we start all our negative states, because in our negative states we are highly reactive. In our negative state, when I'm angry, nothing can stop me from being.
Sometimes you don't get angry, but you're inside it. Like
The
like
same
somebody
thing.
comes in and I really don't like, that's my mind is that I don't like this person. And as soon as I see her, I get like inside, I get upset. I don't say anything. So how to stop that?
Tense and relax. Now, are you coming on Sunday? We
Sunday,
teach the
yes.
exercise. Tense and
Sunday.
relax the muscle.
Not this Sunday.
This Sunday, yeah.
He's talking about the exercise.
We are teaching tomorrow or
Tomorrow and
tomorrow? We are
Sunday, yeah.
teaching. Tomorrow we are teaching. Tomorrow.
Not Sunday.
Tomorrow what time?
tomorrow 1 to 5.
We are teaching the exercises. Right? See, what is the trick in controlling anger? We can start from two places. One, the breathing. If the breathing is in rhythm, I will not get angry. Simple law. Second place. Suppose I say you sit down just now, relax. Relax your eyes, relax your chin, relax. And if you do that 4 or 5 times a day, you just run through your body, relax. So you're relaxing the muscles of the body, and you develop a knack in relaxing the muscles of the body. And then when you get angry, you just start relaxing the muscles of the body. What happens to the anger? So either you can go through breathing. Are you angry? I cannot say I am angry. I have to first pause because I don't want to use the word I. So do I automatically pause or not? Automatically. Then once you pause, you'll say, yes, it is angry. I am not angry. You see, it is angry. Rajan is angry. So if you can make an exercise for 6 months, don't use the word I, right? Automatically you'll bring in consciousness. Automatically you'll bring in Nirodha. And like we talked yesterday, to stand motionless in the mind. We're coming to that. So he's saying, huh, a thousand of years old habit is of Yuddha. Now we are making a new habit of Nirodha. Huh? Right? Now in that moment of Nirodha Kshan, in that moment of Nirodha Kshana, where this is disappearing, this is still to rise, there is a moment where there is absolutely nothing. The mind is in a state of disconnection, or it is connected with something high, right? And there is a moment where you're totally motionless in the mind. Single moment, right? The minute that happens, the mind transforms. Parinam means transformation. The mind transforms. What it is transformed? Its thousands of years old habit has been lost. Huh? And now it comes to a state where it can remain totally motionless, maybe for a fraction of a second, you know the Kshana, just for a fraction of a second. And in that fraction of a second, we get a glimpse of something in the mind or beyond the mind because the mind has totally stopped. Hmm? So we practice this pause till we can experience this one moment of Nirodha Shan, when everything is motionless. Can we then try to increase that space? Once we have experienced it, can we then try to increase that space? How will we increase that space? How will we increase that space? Another we can translate this is that in that moment there is a permeation, anvay, permeation of the mind by stillness. We cannot even imagine what this will be because for millions of years the mind has never been still. It has always been connected with something or the other. And in that moment of total disconnection, we experience something. Now, how will we increase this, stretch this experience? You see, we started with pause. That pause between something which is coming in and our reaction to it. Slowly that became more powerful. The old habit of reacting started dying. This new habit of pause became more and more powerful. And now we had a moment where there was totally nothing. It is not depressive emptiness, it is emptiness where everything is included. Right? Now, can we extend that state?
Only by
Thank you.
devoting the attention to that particular stage.
State. Can we, when we are not in that state in the day, can we go back to that state through remembering? Can we bring it back through remembering? So once we have experienced even one moment of that state, we can do two things. We can keep on, whenever possible, try to remember that state. This is called as Atmasmar. Gurdjieff calls this as self-remembering. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So as we keep on practicing the pause, we will gradually extend this state. Like yesterday, we said we were standing in the jungle, but not moving. This is not stopping of thought. Please understand. It is not nirvichar. Thoughts will come and go, but we are not moving. If we move, then the thought can hypnotize us. If we move, the thought can enslave us. But if we do not move, the thought do anything to us. Right? So, this is the first sutra of Patanjali related to what we did yesterday, holding the manas back. Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
Say when thought comes and then I don't move. I don't know still what is not moving.
I'm standing still.
What is this that's standing still?
The mind is not getting involved with the thought. The mind is not getting involved with the thought. The minute I say I to the thought, then the mind is involved with the thought. Can you say? Right? Or if I say I to the anger, then the mind is involved with the anger. I'm shaking hands with it. Right? I made it a guest in my home.
Still those 16
They will slow down.
they're still in
Yeah, they will slow down. They'll be there. They'll do whatever they try to do, but they will not be able to do anything. We are standing motion. This is what we want to, right? So, yeah,
so mind in a dream.
what?
I saw it in a dream.
What did it show you?
It was like a honeycomb in a tree.
Right.
I don't understand it in the sense that what it was, and all the arrows were shooting in and out.
You didn't get hurt.
No,
That's good.
it's just outside. I was not in it.
So the arrows are the
They were going like this, and then they were like five arrows were becoming one, and one arrow were becoming five.
you just have to stand outside. Do what they want to do. Stand outside the mind. Very good. Okay. Now the as we keep on repeating the pause, as we keep on repeating the pause, it will get easier every time. It will get easier every time. Now, as we practice and practice, the next state which he says is tasya prashant vahita sanskara. Tasya, then prashant vahita sanskara. Which sanskar is he? Which sanskar is he talking? Prashant vahita, like a calm river. Flowing. Vahita means flowing. Calm. What does it mean? The flow of the, yeah, on. Initially, I had to make an effort. Initially, negativity would hypnotize me, so I could not hold the pause, right? Initially, my dislike for somebody would hypnotize me. It would enslave me. The pause. So I kept on making an effort. A point comes where the effort is effortless. The effort becomes effortless, right? But effortlessness comes after many years of hard effort, right? Many years of hard effort. Now, what will happen in this when it is flowing so easily? There will be freedom from what? Negativity and freedom from all the opposites of life. Hmm? So, my guru, I just mentioned his word, the cultivation of this habit leads to a spiritual perception, right? Now we see as dual. We see life as dual. A spiritual perception awakens. So today you're so nice to me, but I see it as dual. I say anything can happen, and tomorrow she can insult me also. And for me, it is the same thing. It is the same thing. Can you understand? So now nothing can disturb this flow. If tomorrow you become insulting, then it should disturb my flow, but it cannot because I see my spiritual perception as open up. So the spiritual perception opens up. The flow is now undisturbed. Previously, we were made to, yeah, not to just see low tide, but to see low tide and high tide together. And suddenly, our whole perception of life changes, right? And we know that everything flows in a certain cycle. And we know that everything has to end in time, right? Something is moving into higher and higher tide, more and more happiness. It has to turn at some point, and summer becomes winter. Our spiritual perception has opened up. Now nothing can disturb this. Tasya Prashanta Vahita Sanskar. The next one is says Sarvartha Ekagrata. Yaha Kai Uday. Chittasya Samadhi Pari. The first transformation we went through was called Nirodh Parina. Now we go into Samadhi Parina. What does it mean? Sarvartha everywhere. My attention is fragmented everywhere. Attention everywhere. Shay. Ekagrata, Uday. In that moment, what happens to the chit? It goes into samadhi. Goes into samadhi.
It's one we separate ourselves and it's true.
Want to take that tomorrow? How to separate? Huh? So tomorrow we are not taking any subject.
Sunday, I think yes.
Monday.
Monday. Monday we have to take prayers also. That week.
Prayer.
Monday.
Okay, so then Monday and Tuesday we'll take prayer. Now, now what would this mean? Sir,
I think this is the end of it, right?
no, we are still going ahead. We are
But
still-
process.
What did we do yesterday? What did we do yesterday?
Yesterday we talked about electro.
We said the way,
Yeah. Right. Or
and we said that what is formed over here? 120, 120
electro.
thoughts.
Or simple.
But these thoughts are not words. The words are formed over here. Yesterday we said the words are formed over here. So these thoughts are before the word. They are thought forms. Then we first paused, we pull the manas out so that the incoming impulse and the what do you call it, memory met in a vacuum. The thought could not be formed. But this chitta, for thousands of years, it has a habit to make thought. Right? So as long as we are holding attention and doing it, it will stop making the thought. But the minute our attention goes away, we start living our normal life, these 120 will start again. This 120 will start again. Are you understanding what? Because it is an old habit. It is an old. So initially we paused, say in that Nirodha Kshan for, right? Now we are going up to 10 seconds. And if you can do it for 10 seconds, then this person, the habit of animation, these thought forms are like animated figures. It has a habit to animate each moment, 120. It is a machine to make animated figures every. That habit dies. The habit dies. The habit of thought formation dies. Till then, the formation would slow down when we are holding attention there. Then that holding of attention became a very easy process, but still this habit had not yet changed. And now this habit has changed to fragment everything. Sarvartata, the very, what do you call, cause of fragmenting, the habit of the chit to create thought, now it becomes one pointed, right? It does not allow the thoughts to be formed, right? And this we hold for 10 seconds. Is it now clear? We are now changing the very habit of the mind.
What happened those 16 language thing?
They will reduce down to 30 to 60 when we are relating to people. And when we are sitting in deep meditation, they will go down to 15 to 30. Right? So, all the tendencies which we were born with to make something out, the baby comes with so many tendencies. It likes something, it dislikes something. That whole mind which it came with has came with has changed. Now let us take this in a different way. The soul wants to take birth. The soul wants to take birth, but and it has say 100 possibility. But when it goes through the DNA of mother and father, the child which comes out brings only 20 over here. The rest are remaining somewhere. Out of this 20, he lives his life. Right? And it is these 20 which are fulfilled by these are the tendencies in our mind. Now, at this moment, we have transformed the mind. So we go back to this and we can fulfill something which even the DNA of the mother and father has not allowed to through. Right? Because we've changed the quality of the mind. Tendency we have changed. Right? Okay. Now one more. We'll take one more. Now supposing I separate. I am saying that this is happening to Rajan. I watching. Right? So I'm separating and I see that Rajan always lived in reaction. So we introduced a pause. In that pause, the mind went through one transformation. He experienced a small moment of motionlessness, silence. But all the old tendencies and everything are still lying in the mind. Kept on practicing till this became effortless. When this became effortless, he was able to hold that state for longer periods. In the holding of that state for longer periods, the very tendencies of all that he was born with, they got transformed. So the first transformation was the point of silence. The second transformation was the tendency. In this effortlessness, what was opened? His spiritual perception, the vivek was opened, right? Now, each moment, life is changing. Life is changing, right? And the mind is taking the shape of that change. Mind is taking the shape of that change. So we'll say the mind feels pain, the mind feels happiness, right? Initially, when the mind felt pain, no eye watching it was hypnotized by this. Then we created small moments so the eye separated a little. Then we increased those moments, the eye separated more. Then we are now changing the tendencies. Now the mind still feels pain and happiness,
But
but it does not make any, there is no tendency to create any thought form out of it. It just feels it.
it just feels
It just feels the pain, it just feels the happiness, but there is absolutely no tendency to create any new thought form out of it. We have come to their samadhi parika, right? But the mind still feels pain, happiness. Now, this person is going through two experience, the experience of the I and the experience of life. The experience of I, the experience of life. The experience of life is changing every moment. Puna. Therefore, Puna, Shanta, Udita, Tulya Pratyay, Chittasya, Ekagrata, I is unchangeable. So the mind is still changing. So he's saying the pratyay, the apprehension or the recognition of that moment as either pain or pleasure, right, is now balanced, is now balanced. There's a total transformation in the mind. The mind only reflects one thing, and that is the real I inside. Till now, the mind changed with pleasure, the mind changed with pain. But now, he has been able to hold that pause, which we started in the beginning, for such a long period of time. How many seconds? 100 seconds. He is now holding it for a long period of time. The whole mind has transformed. There is nothing left in the mind, whether it is pleasure, whether it is pain. As this is eternal, the mind is experiencing it as balanced. Huh? This is not separate from this, right? In that, huh, there is just one pointedness and one point divine. The eternal, the experience of the divine is there all the time, right? So these, what we said yesterday, we just went through that, huh, to increase the pause, right? And we come to this state inside. Huh? Definitely going to take very long. You go to Washington, go to the National Gallery, and there's a painting by a Dutch artist called Vermeer, right? And the National Gallery, they have a couple of paintings by Vermeer. And in this painting, it is called the balance. The woman with the balance. The woman with the balance. The woman holding a jewelry balance in her hand. Small jewelry balance in her hand. This National Gallery also has one Leonardo, but for me, this is much more than the Leonardo. And unfortunately, last time, even this year, we could not go. Last time, it was not, it had been loaned to someone, right? Okay. Now she's holding a balance in her hand. And the room is dark. The room is dark, right? There's a curtain. And in the curtain, just somebody has not put the full shade. A little gap remains. And from that, a ray of light is coming in the room. And that ray of light is falling on her face, and she's in a deep state of Nirodha, motionless. She's totally motionless. There's this balance in her hand, and just that light is enough to see her, face and the beauty of her face. And if the balance is a jewelry bag, so there's jewelry lying on the table, right? Behind her is a picture of Christ in his last supper, and the balance is there. Whether it is the jewelry, whether it is the picture of Christ, tulya prati, it makes no difference. The jewelry is as divine as Christ, and Christ is as material as the jewelry. Tata shanta udito tulya prati. Now in life, nothing is separate from the divine, and the divine is not separate from anything that is material. He is totally balanced. He has reached that state. The artist has expressed that state in his canvas. Something worth seeing. Right?
The artist must have experienced that to
You
do
must have
this.
experienced a moment to do
Yeah.
it. Must have experienced. So I thought I'd just continue to where we left off yesterday. Huh? Right?
People in this
Yeah.
thoughts couldn't be still there, or thoughts could go.
Thoughts are so far away as if we are sitting on the mountain and thoughts are down below the mountain. Now, right?
45 minutes and no thoughts
Very good.
this morning. But only it was like this part was very heavy.
You're still you're not in relaxation.
Yeah, like I had no thoughts, like maybe hardly one or two,
Mm.
but then this part was very intense. Like I felt like an alien. But it was 45 minutes.
Very good. Now, let's go through a few small reactions in our life, right? I did it.
That I shouldn't say I did it.
No, no, no. We don't want to feed something inside. We want to pause, right? You get it?
Yeah.
So,
Right. If you if you talk to somebody, how you can create that thing? Like I myself, I feel okay, this is really mine, this is theirs. But if I'm saying like to you, so how do you say?
no, but you don't, what do you call, uh,
Don't say?
no, no. You say it as matter of fact, but don't say it to encash.
Like give me example. If suppose how can I say?
Supposing I say he is doing a very good job where he has taken new jobs.
Yeah. That to somebody is easy
Yeah.
to say.
No, but you will immediately say, I got him that job. Now, can you pause over there? Right? Or somebody comes in this room and somebody says, oh, the chairs are already arranged. I arranged them.
You always want to say that I did. You want to
I did it.
I did.
Right? Can you pause over there?
Yes.
It's a small reaction. Small reaction. But we can learn to pause them. Right? So wherever you feel that you're gaining some food for the ego, I did it. This was my doing. Right? So somebody will come and say, who did this painting in your home? Right? So you can say after 5 minutes. Don't immediately answer. I will say, I did it. Can you get it? Where else now? Supposing we have to lie and there is greed. Lie and there's greed. I know you don't know. I know that you don't know. So this is 5 rupees. Now there's a struggle inside. Okay. She doesn't know. So where all do we lie to avoid suffering?
So even these things are bad when we make up.
No, no, I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying where do we want to pause? Nothing is bad or good. You can lie and cheat on income tax all you want, no problem. Nothing to do with that, right? But
Here we can
can you pause? Can you pause? Take revenge to put somebody in the place. Right? The thought comes immediately. Can you pause over there? And what do we pause? What do we observe over there? There's always a sweetness in revenge. When we take revenge on somebody, when I put her in her place, you feel so good inside. Really good inside. And you have to see there is the urge for that goodness. And that is where we have to pause. Right? Then sometimes now the thoughts are going on about somebody inside. How do we pause there? How do we pause? How do we pause? We exchange places. So whatever I'm saying about you inside, right? I will say if somebody was to say the same to me, pause. Right? Now, supposing you go in a gathering of people, what are you hoping for?
say that I really
Yes,
so
they,
good
you want, yeah, you want them to talk about you. You want them to talk about again. Pause over. These are small pauses which we get to come to this stage.
that we we want to see that somebody
You go to somebody's house, you'll have a notion that how well they will
treat us or that might go there.
or I deserve more. Right? The urge to put yourself right, to defend yourself. I did not want to come late, but the traffic was there. We love to put ourselves right, not my fault, the fault of the traffic. Can you understand? So there again, pause over there. Suspicion. Suspicion. You know what is suspicion? What is suspicion? Tell me.
Like, I think he did that.
Which one?
Whatever some person did, then like you were like kind
No,
of
so what happens in suspicion? What happens in suspicion?
like,
Questioning somebody's intention.
he might you
No,
blame
no.
other person.
Suppose or two people, they have had some very good times together, right? 5 years, 6 years, beautiful times. And then he becomes suspicious of her. What happens to all the good times? Huh? All gone, right? Suspicion. Right? What do we call it in Gujarati? What do we make curd out of? What do we call it? Vishwas. Merwan. You this much of suspicion, but the whole relationship becomes curd. This much of suspicion, right? Made or argued. These are a few things where we can see where we are losing energy, huh? Where we can start to fall. This is the most important thing we can do in a fall. It is better than any prayer. It is better than any meditation. Come to that one state where we experience that inner silence.
Yeah, if we go there naturally, yeah.
I'm going to stop here. Anything you want to ask? We take prayer on Monday. Prayer. So tomorrow we are taking the characters of the Baba. Tomorrow we are taking the characters.
Prayer helps in
Huh?
prayer helps in cause.
You pray to help you for help in cause. That is right prayer. You need a little bit of will in cause. Little bit of will. We don't have will.
But sometimes I feel it's feel. Sometimes I feel it's really sense that I don't understand how to begin or am I doing it?
Very good state to be in. That is life. It fluctuates. That which is separate observes the fluctuation. So when you say, I mean, I don't know, say, yeah. Again, I forgot your name. Swati, right? I'm watching Swati. Swati is indecisive. Swati is confused. Swati now is clear. But you know that clarity is again going to go into confusion. And confusion again goes into clarity. This is the way life moves. These are the two poles of life. Right? That which is watching the two poles.
It makes sense now. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
But this will keep on. If you say, oh, I don't want confusion, then you're saying, I don't want clarity. You're saying, I don't want clarity. These are two sides of the same coin. Right? I want to watch how this law operates. This is called the law of duality. Duality. People talk straight away about Advaita. But talk about duality first. No? What is duality? How to understand duality. With the understanding of duality, Advaita, non-duality will happen. Yeah? What is duality? So if we understand that, just confused. Just now, I lived with my guru. He was such a person that there should be no, what do you call, distrust. The mind is the mind. So there are many days when you're saying, hey, is he right or is he wrong? Right? It happens. It moves from trust to distrust, and from distrust to trust. That is the movement of the mind. Right?
So that's okay.
Then when they both those movements become balanced, tulya prati, both those movements become, takes time. Move through so much in life to break that balance. Okay, we'll stop over here. Thank you. Good night.
thank you very much.